Hey everyone, this is David Chen from /film.com, and I wanted to tell you about a new movie out in theaters this weekend, Don't Breathe.
Rumor is this guy is sitting on at least $300K. Boom! That's our guy.
Wait, is he blind?
We messed up to rob a blind guy, isn't it?
Just because he's blind don't mean he's insane, bro.
Guys, money's probably in there.
Who's there?
Stay right there.
Don't Breathe tells a story of three young people who break into an old, wealthy blind man's house, played by Stephen Lang, and try to pull off the perfect heist. But of course, generally when you try to pull off the perfect heist, it doesn't really go very well. And certainly that's what happens here. This movie is one of my favorite films of the year. I can't recall this year having a better film-going experience, other than maybe Captain America Civil War, and even that I don't think can compare with how I felt watching this film. I was so tense watching this movie that at the end of it, when I was like relaxed finally, I felt sore all over because of how tense I had been. The audience was completely engrossed in everything that was happening, on the edge of their seats. And that is just an amazing thing to see, because typically when you watch a movie, there are people who are, shuffling and moving around and talking and being assholes in some way. Not happening during my screening in this film, because everyone was so engaged by what was going on the screen. This movie does a bunch of things really well. One of them is the sound design is just phenomenal. The movie does everything it can to put you into the mind of the villain, played by Stephen Lang, or is he the villain? That's something for you to decide, because he's just, in some ways, defending himself from these thieves. But it puts you inside his mindset by allowing you to hear every single breath that every character takes in this film, and so you're kind of like keenly attuned to what noises they're making and hoping they don't make too much noise. And so every time they breathe, you hear it, you feel it, and you're on edge. Beyond that, the cinematography is also really great. It employs some of the techniques that David Fincher used in Panic Room, this kind of drifting camera that makes you feel like, you could go anywhere in the house, but the house is also really confined, and it just feels very uncomfortable. But the way the geography of the house that they're in is laid out is really well done, really well shown. But a lot of the film takes place with like ultra shallow depth of field. You can see a lot of the textures on objects, on people's faces. And I think that's because Stephen Lang, the villain who is blind in this film, he would get around by touching things and feeling things. And so the movie really kind of puts you into that mindset, like you're trying to figure out how things feel and how things look and how things sound. Finally, what I really enjoyed about this film is how it's structured and how the movie amps up the stakes as you go along, but also it feels all very organic. It feels like a piece of clockwork where one thing leads to the next, and like another confined thriller movie this summer, Green Room, these characters don't make terribly stupid decisions. A lot of them make smart decisions. They make the decisions that you wish you could make if you were in that situation. That if you were in that situation, you think to yourself, oh man, I wish I was that smart. I wish I could have put that together. And that's awesome, because then the characters are like a step ahead of you. They're a step ahead of the audience, and you feel like you need to keep up. And I really enjoyed that element of it, but also just the movie never lets up. I mean, it just keeps going step after step, and you never feel like it slows down because like the simple premise just propels it all the way to the end. Now, that being said, I do think there are some issues with the film. Plot developments that happen later on are a little bit ridiculous and put this movie squarely in B-movie territory. But that is not necessarily an insult. I think it's just a sign that you shouldn't necessarily take this movie incredibly seriously, but I think you should receive it as an amazing genre exercise, the likes of which are rarely seen in theaters today. So I really enjoyed this movie. I think it's great. I think you should check it out. And I can't wait to see what Fede Alvarez does next, the director of this movie. He is definitely going places. So yeah, that's my review of Don't Breathe. Thanks for watching. Find me at slashfilm.com or a bunch of other places online. And if you enjoyed my video review, like this review down there or subscribe to it. I would really appreciate it. Thanks so much.